Hey ladies, I am coming to you with a video and for anklets. I had mentioned before I was gonna do it, so I was like, let's just do it. Last night I got to making some anklets and we're gonna do it. They're very easy to make, guys, and but I'm just gonna give you my pointers that might help you with creating your own. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so let me show you the anklets I made first so we can get it inspired, okay? So these right here are gorgeous and they are purple. All of these beads you see on here were purchased from Hobby Lobby, including the seed beads. These right here, these really pretty glass beads, they were like a strand of 4 from Hobby Lobby. I love to get them when they're on sale because I just feel like you get such a bang for your buck. And then I like to add little charms at the end, and I always hook the charms where the lobster claw is. I never put it on the other side where you join it because it would just get in the way. So here it's perfect where it's at. Okay, so that's the 2 purple, and then I do one at 10 inch and then I do one at 11 inch for my ankle because I like them to drop lower. Okay, so here's the other 2 using this beautiful like teal seafoam type of blue, and this one right here has a bail with a little hanger or with a little loop on it so you can hang charms. So that's what I did for this one. All of this stuff again you can purchase at Hobby Lobby. And again, here I went ahead and did the lobster. I didn't do a charm on this end because it already has a charm hanging here, so I just felt like, oh, I'm not going to do it. Okay, so that's those 2. I like to wear 2 at a time, so that's why I did 10 and 11. It's just perfect for my ankle where I like it to sit, because I kind of like it to go right below the bone of your ankle, or just kind of like a little bit above it. That's kind of my preference. And I did this really pretty white one. Again, these were all purchased except for these are Swarovski crystals right here. And these are just glass beads. And I believe that was either Michael's or Hobby Lobby that had those. And then I'm going to show you the seed beads right now, just in case you're like, well, what seed beads did you use? Okay, so these were the ones that I used for this, the really pretty green one that I just showed you. So this one is called turquoise, and it is a size 6 turquoise. This one right here is a size 8, and it's just called green. And these are Czech seed beads, okay? So I love the Czech seed beads. They are absolutely amazing. They are a little more pricey, but guys, I get it when it's on sale. That's what I do. And for the purple ones, I got, this is an 8, a number 8, and it's called amethyst. And you'll see that it's got like that really pretty 2-tone type of look to it. And this one has that AB, and this one is called purple, just purple, and it's a 6. Okay, so a 6 and an 8. The 8 is the smallest, the 6 is the larger one. And these right here are also Czech beads. For the white one that I used, this one is called crystal. And this one right here is a size 6. Okay, and these ones are beautiful. It's like a matte white, gorgeous. Now, if I didn't use these, but these are some beads that I'm going to use, and these ones are my UBs. Okay, so these ones also cost a little bit more as well, but they are gorgeous. And these are perfect, like you can go through one of these just making an anklet. So I like to mix up the beads so that they last longer. And but I also get these when they're on sale. So these are all size 6. Okay, that's a really good size to work with. And this one right here is called Montana, and it's like a really pretty navy blue, and it has like a green tone to it. This one is called Seafoam, the one right next to it. Then this mustardy looking one is called Canary. And then, oops, and then this is called Brown. It's just brown, but it's like a marbled brown. Okay, they're all gorgeous. You can get all of these at Hobby Lobby. Get them when they're on sale, guys. Okay, today we're gonna use these because you can also use these. These go on sale. It's a good price, $6 for these anyways, but I get them when they're on sale. And this is just a gray. It's a 3.5 millimeter glass cube bead. Now, my preference in doing these is I like to use seed beads and not like glass beads for the whole wrap, like, you know, like these right here that are a little faceted. Because when this starts rubbing on your ankle a lot, I feel like it's annoying and it's itchy to your ankle. So I like a smooth bead. That is completely my preference. So you'll see I always use seed beads, whether it's small, big, or whatever, or something that doesn't have any faceting on the actual crystal. So that is just a little pointer to you. I have this right here is cable wire. Okay, but this right here is what I purchased from LA, but you can find these at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. It's just cable wire, and this is a 3-strand, and that's what I'm using today. I am making a 10-inch anklet, but I always go big. I did 15 inches because I pretty much am going to bend about an inch of it, and at the very end, it doesn't matter if it's longer because I'm going to show you, but it's best to cut long than short. So I did 15 inches on this to do a 10-inch anklet, okay? And on here, you're gonna see that I already have them laid out. And this is the best way to do it, is to have all of these already put out all through here, even including the jump ring and the lobster claw. All of that factors in to the 10 inches. So you want to make sure that you include those. You would think they don't matter, but they absolutely do matter. Every little finding does, and the jump rings, and yeah, and then the lobster claw. I'm also going to be using tube crimp beads, and I got these at Michael's. I prefer tube over the circle ones. These ones, they just flatten nicely. So I'm using that. I'm gonna be using crimp bead covers as well. Okay, so, oops, here's the 2. So I'm gonna be using these right here. I do not have the sizes because this was purchased in a multi-pack. So just make sure when you buy crimp bead covers, I would just buy a multi-pack instead of buying one specific size, because you just never know what size you're gonna need it for. And these are perfect for also covering the knots on stretchy bracelets to cover that up. So these are what I'm using. I'm going to use a lobster claw. I don't know the size of this one either, guys, and it's really your preference if you would choose to use a smaller one as opposed to a bigger one, okay? And I have 2 jump rings. I just suggest when you use these jump rings that you use a large gauge. I use 6mm, and I use the heavy gauge from Hobby Lobby. It is my preference to use because it's just thicker. So just keep that in mind. Don't use anything that's flimsy for this because it will break off your ankle easily, okay? And also too, if you do any that are hanging charms like this, make sure you are using a thick gauge too, because I've noticed from my own mistakes when I wear these, and through the day of this just constantly hitting your ankle, constantly hitting your shoe, moving and moving and moving, they tend to break and fall off sometimes if you do not use a good jump ring. Now, probably it's best to use a split ring. I choose to not use it because I just don't like the look of a split ring. I don't know. That's just me. I don't like it. And it's very complicated to use. So I just choose to use a heavier weight jump ring. And Hobby Lobby does have heavier weight jump rings. Okay, so that's that. Now let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to go ahead and string on the tube, the crimp tube. Then, actually, we're going to start on this end back here, actually. And we're going to put our jump ring on, okay? And then we're just going to bend the end wire about an inch, okay? And then we are going to go ahead and we're going to put the tube over both, or after just the one, but you're going to send it back so that that one that we just bent over is inside the tube, okay? And then when you take your pliers, and these are the pliers that have the ridges, you need these to crimp these. They do sell crimp pliers meant for that, but I think it's a waste of money because you can use these just as fine. And when you push it up, don't push it all the way up to where it's taut, like where the jump ring is stiff. You don't want that. You want it to have that give, okay? Because you also got to put the crimp bead cover, so you need to consider that space as well. So, okay, so we just went ahead and covered that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get the crimp bead cover. We're going to put the crimp inside. Then when we close it, now you see how it's open right there. Now people always want to just close it this way. I find that when I do that, it misshapes the crimp bead. So I always go on the top part and I close it in a little. And then I go to the back part and I close that in a little. And then I just kind of close them together so that it stays circular. Okay? Because I feel like when you crimp it this way, it just makes it shaped funny. Okay? So we have that. Now let's go ahead and start stringing them. Okay? I've already took in consideration and counted and made sure the beads are equal. I like to work with a pattern. Okay? So I've already counted everything, and that's the only way, guys, to go ahead and make sure that it is exact to the way you want it on your ankle. Now, let's say you're making one of these anklets as a gift, right? And you don't know the person's ankle and how it's gonna fit on them. And a lot of the times, if a person doesn't wear anklets, or, you know, a lot of times somebody doesn't know exactly, well, I wanted a 10-inch anklet. A lot of times they won't know that. So you can buy extenders, okay? So they do sell extenders, and it's the same one you would use for your necklaces. It's no different than you would use for an anklet. Now, they do have those at Michael's, and they do have them at Hobby Lobby. Just look for, I believe they're called necklace extenders. And you'll notice it's just like a chain. And this one right here is an extender, but this is an old one. I couldn't even tell you where I got it from. And that's considered an extender. Or if you can't find them, or if you just don't have it on hand and you don't want to buy them, you could make your own extenders by just getting a jump ring and getting a curb chain, which just is pretty much link chain, where there are bigger links. And just make sure that the lobster claw can fit inside those links. And that's all you do, is you add the chain on to the jump ring, add like about a 1 inch, 1.5 inches, whichever. And you add that, and then you just add another jump ring at the very end. So that, well, no, you don't have to add that jump ring at the very end. You just leave the chain, so that you could add a dangle at that end, and then they can pick which link they want to add it on. But just make sure that you add, oh, did I just lose how my pattern was going to go here? Hold on a second. Okay, I think I had moved it, and, oh, geez Louise. I had this right. See, it's crystal here, and I'm missing this one. Okay, so it's always my luck that I mess up a pattern, and it drives me nutty. So, yeah. So that's all you have to do. You can totally, I've mentioned that and shown it in my previous videos for the necklaces. So you can definitely do that on an anklet. And it's always pretty cool when you can just add that on there and let the person, and whatever doesn't fit the link, it'll just hang on the side. But you want to make sure it's not a lot. You know, you don't want to add too much, or else it's going to hang to the ground. So you got to be mindful of how much that drop is. So that's just another helpful little tidbit. But these are pretty easy, you know, and when you get started on these, it's so addictive to continue making a bunch of them. And I love wearing anklets. And it doesn't have to be summertime for me, guys. I just like to do it regardless. And of course, summertime's best, but I wear it all the time. Anytime that I'm gonna wear a sandal, or even with when I wear my Chuck Taylors, any type of, or Keds that are low top type tennis shoes, I'll rock them in that as well. Just not in boots, of course, because that would hurt. But if you're in California, you can wear flip-flops year-round. Out here in Colorado, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore since it snows here, and which is fine. I'm embracing it, and I cannot wait for it. But that's pretty much it. So yeah, let's go ahead, and we're at the very end of this anklet. So yeah, and you can also use thicker seed beads if you don't want to mess around with those smaller ones. You can use the bigger ones that are in those tubes that they have at Hobby Lobby that are bigger. And actually, watch, I can show you really quick. You can use these as well, guys. These are beautiful. So of course you see that this is chunkier, and because this is smooth, the edges are not sharp, it's not annoying to your ankle. You just got to make sure it's loose and not snug. Okay, so now we're done, and this is the pattern I chose. So I'm looking at it now to make sure that, nope, see, dang it. Did I do that right? I was like, please don't let me do this wrong. Okay, I didn't know if the end was the same on both sides, but it is. Okay, and like I said, you see right here, it's poking out. This is where we want to go ahead and make sure to fix it, because that happens as you're putting it. So you just want to make sure it goes inside, travels inside all the beads. And oh no, is it not going to go through this second bead? Because sometimes the holes in the beads are not all the same. Okay, there we go. All right, and make sure it goes all the way to the end. Make sure that one is taut. And now we're gonna get the tube crimp bead at this end, and we're gonna add the jump ring. Okay, and we are gonna travel it back through the crimp tube. So you see it looks like this. Okay, we're gonna pull this through, and not too taut yet, because we're going to travel this back through the beads. Okay, and I like to travel it through a bunch of them. This, of course, is, again, it's going to be your preference how many beads down you want it to go. Some girls will cut it straight to the, what do you call it? Where the crimp bead is. I prefer not to cut it that close, because I feel like it's annoying to your skin sometimes if it's poking out. And I guess unless you cut it super flush, then that would be perfect. And I'm going to assume this does not want to travel back through, so we might just have to take it through. Oh, here we go. I like to get it to go down quite a few. It just gives it more stability, honestly. Okay, so you'll see this is, oh geez Louise, I missed. It went outside the bead. Look at that. I'm such a bonehead. All right, let's go ahead and get it through this bead, since I did not do that. And of course, I didn't put my glasses on. All right, there we go. All right, so now we're gonna hold on to this. And now we're gonna pull. Okay, make sure it's down a little bit. Make sure you have give. Make sure that this right here is like it's not too tight. You want this to lay nice on your ankle, okay? And you have to remember too, you have to make sure you have space for this to go on the end as well, okay? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and close this off and make sure it's really snug. Then we're gonna go ahead and get the bead cap, the crimp bead, the crimp cover, and we're gonna close it a little on one side and then close the other side. Okay. You wanna make sure that they're nice and snug and it's closed really good. Okay, then we have this right here. When you cut this off, it's best to use some flush cutter type scissors. The one thing you don't want to do when you cut this off is bend it, because then when the wire bends, it's very, you see that? It's very hard to fix that crimp. It ruins the whole thing. So just be very mindful when you're cutting it to have something that's either flush cutters that's super, that can get in there, or some super sharp pointy scissors. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stick on, where are we at? We're gonna stick on Lobster Claw. All right, and then we're gonna close that off and make sure it's super snug on there. Okay, and then we are going to get, did I not put out another jump ring? It's just my luck that I forgot to leave out a jump ring. I swore I did. Well, I didn't. So we are gonna find another jump ring. And we are gonna put on, and make sure it's a nice heavier gauge jump ring that's gonna hold on to your charm, because there's so much movement on these when you wear them as an anklet. And just put my little floater star. Of course, that was by from Hobby Lobby as well. No, I'm lying. It's from Joann's. Joann's is the one that sells the little floater hearts, stars, and flowers that look like this. That's Joann's. And that's it, guys. So you just, this right here would be my a 10-inch anklet, and that's it. So it's super cute. It's super fun. I love it. It's super easy, guys. Go ahead and give it a try. I would love to see what you make, and get those seed beads out and just start making some anklets. These are amazing gifts for the summertime, guys. And that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope I've inspired you just a smidge. All right, have a super amazing and beyond blessed day, guys.